Imagine this. You are on the witness stand and all eyes are on you. The person that had sexually assaulted you is sitting just a few feet in front of you. You feel sick at the sight of the lawyer who walks up to you, and the first thing out of his mouth is, "What were you wearing the night it happened?" This is a true story. Sexual assault happens every day and not enough action is being taken and not enough thought for the victim is being used. Shockingly, 1 in 12 college-aged men have reported to doing something that constitutes a sexual assault. According to the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Services, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 6 men will be sexually assaulted in their lifetime. If you think that this doesn't affect you, let me break it down for you. That's approximately 10 people in this very room. According to RAINN, only 6 rapists out of every 1,000 will end up in jail. This is a staggering number. This is a topic that I am extremely passionate to fight against. On my journey to becoming a therapist for sexual assault victims, I have done immense amounts of research. I also spend my free time volunteering at the Sexual Assault Center in Nashville and here in Murfreesboro. So I know firsthand that sexual assault is one of the biggest problems that plagues college campuses. My name is Daisy Wagner, and in the next few minutes, I would like to persuade you to take a closer look at the way that college campuses handle the problem of sexual assault. First, let's talk about the process of reporting a sexual assault on campus. Reporting a sexual assault on campus is not an easy process. It is a victim's right to choose whether or not they want an investigation done or a rape kit. However, if they do choose to do so, it is an extensive process. There are so many factors that cause shame and embarrassment for the victim, and because of this, many back out of reporting. Over 90% of rapes are by family or acquaintances of the victim. Some are even blackmailed. If underage students were drunk at the time of the rape, they are usually more afraid of what law enforcement or guardians at home might think than they are to get help. If you go to MTSU's website, it states that there are 13 steps from the time the victim chooses to report the assault and the time it arrives at a hearing. One of the first steps is to have a meeting with both parties. According to MTSU's sexual assault policy, after the investigation, the university president who confides with the investigative team ultimately makes a decision if there was a violation or not a judicial executive. The victim is faced with many stressful decisions under an already stressful time. If they choose to have a hearing, they only have 10 days to file for it. This and all these other options are so much, and typically this is decided within 48 hours of the crime. The amount of trauma the brain has endured is already enough to impair a person's ability to make vital decisions. Imagine being faced with all this stress and disturbance on top of maintaining a normal social life, work life, and in addition to being a full-time student. This is massively overwhelming and it should not be overlooked. Second, I would like to discuss with you the repercussions for assault on college campuses. The discipline implemented for sexual assault on college campuses is not enough. This not only creates hurt and confusion for the victim, but it essentially says to the attacker that what they did was okay. According to the Huffington Post, only 30% of college students found guilty of rape were expelled. That is less than 1/3. According to the Washington City paper, in 2011, Indiana University expelled only 1 of 12 students found guilty of rape last year. Shantoria Cobbs, a college student in Georgia, was found guilty of rape last year, and his punishment was a 500-word essay on consent, a mere homework assignment. If we don't take a closer look and take action, these are going to be reported less and the violations will grow. These are not just numbers. These are your roommates, your friends, your sons, and your daughters. So what can we do to ensure that our college students are protected? The process of reporting a rape or sexual assault on campus needs to be taken much more seriously. We can start by believing someone when they disclose and be conscious of victim-blaming statements such as, "What were you wearing?" or "Were you drunk?" Second, we can provide the victim with an advocate that can help them through the investigative process. But to me, the most important way to ensure that the victims get the help they need is to provide a source for them that is simple, brief, and in the hands of every student. That is why I am hoping that universities will hear my plea to add a section at the end of every instructor's syllabi, providing a resource for the students. Information about consent at orientation is not enough. We can't stop these assaults from happening, so we need to know where to go when it does. These resources could save someone's life, and I think they need to be in the hands of every student. Earlier, I mentioned that 1 in 4 women will be sexually assaulted in their lifetime. MTSU has 26,000 students. Assuming half of them are female, that's over 3,000 assaults we are talking about. This is an extraordinary number. Now, let's assume that every instructor was required to put resources in their syllabi that every student would have a copy of. An example like this, including teachers, would be in the hands of over 35,000 people. I would like to see a world where sexual assault is non-existent, but that's unrealistic. We can't stop it from happening, so we need to know where to go when it does. Imagine a world where people who have been sexually assaulted are validated, believed, and empowered. This creates a generation of survivors, not victims. In conclusion, I hope that you have a better understanding of how reporting a sexual assault is not an easy task. The discipline implemented is not enough, and the solution should be taken much more seriously. So please, consider these ideas to change college policies, which in turn could save someone's life. We need to start change in our own community so that we can spark a worldwide phenomenon, universities nationwide. This is not a moment, this is a movement. My plea, as a survivor of sexual assault and as a college student, is that my university and every university nationwide can understand the enormous impact that sexual assault has on students. I hope that now you have a glimpse of what sexual assault does to a college campus and some ways that it can be resolved. So next time you hear about a sexual assault on campus, I challenge you to think about these statistics, and I hope that I have persuaded you not to think like the lawyer who said, "What were you wearing?" but like the advocate that said, "I'm here for you." Thank you.